Flying saucers. What is the very first sighting? Do leaked secrets reveal the truth?
Proves there are flying saucers, alien visitors, the whole business.
Do UFOs attack Russian planes? Are there natural explanations?
There had been on that evening a movement on the fault.
Are some craft hoaxes?
It was quite easy to reproduce these pictures.
Are aliens abducting people?
What I saw was real. It was damn real.
Can we hear them?
We have not ruled out that this is actually a signal from extraterrestrial intelligence.
Are they watching us? The beginning, June 1947, Washington State. A startled private pilot. The cause, peculiar-looking aircraft near Mount Rainier. Wobbling and flipping, faster than any known planes. Amazed, the pilot lands. Kenneth Arnold's sighting begins a new age. Word spreads. The press name them flying saucers. Reports multiply.
Guns, tanks, bombs, they're like toys against them.
Fictional generals fear space invaders. Real-life commanders fear this world at war. They dread panic.
Looks like they're gonna come out of that gully pretty soon.
Even a 1938 dramatization has caused chaos. It forces an apology from its producer, Orson Welles.
Extremely surprised to learn that a story which has become familiar to children through the medium of comic strips and adventure stories should have had such an immediate and profound effect upon radio listeners.
Nor do the military have answers. They haven't been able to resolve the mystery of UFOs seen over Europe in the last months of World War II by US night fighter crews, who dubbed them Foo Fighters.
The sightings we saw were, I think, were in about in the 44, in November or December then. We'd see these balls of light that would fly off the wings of our airplane. The one I saw was like a white light. A lot of the other people reporting in it saw red lights, and some of them would see some green lights, and some of them reported that they would try to chase one while they never could catch it.
We would turn into it, and it would turn with us. And we'd turn away from it, and it would still turn with us. And I put my gun sights on, trying to get on it, but I never could.
We flew the British Mosquito, which was capable of 450 knots, and we opened it up a number of times and tried to close with it, and we never came anywhere close to it.
A German secret weapon? False images in pilots' eyes? Natural phenomena? Investigations drew a blank.
I think the book is open on whether it was imagination, hallucination, or really extraterrestrial or German ground-controlled object. But I haven't seen anything in 50 years that changed the perception of what they were other than unidentified flying objects.
Foo Fighters end with the war. Other sightings continue. Life in post-war America appears tranquil. But national security is still at stake. Is the US under Soviet aerial surveillance? Could Big Brother be watching? UFO sightings are most disturbing near sensitive sites. Atomic secrets are at risk. The threat of nuclear war raises the stakes. Soviet agents and communist subversives could be anywhere. Any one may be an alien. They look like us.
Say, could you tell me what...
Yes, comrade.
Nothing. Nothing, never mind.
UFO reports and rare witnesses' films do not go to the police or scientists. For 22 years, they are collected for Air Force investigation, always with the two aims described by Project Blue Book's first head.
First of all, to try to determine if the UFO phenomena presents a threat to the security of the United States. And second, to determine if the UFO phenomena exhibits any technological advances which could be channeled into research and development.
In 1969, the files are closed. The Air Force conclusion, no threat and poor data.
They looked at 3,201 sightings. They categorized every single one. They did a quality evaluation of every single one. And what they found was 21% of the 3,201 cases that they examined had to be listed as unknowns, completely separate and distinct from the 10% that were listed as insufficient information. They found that the better the quality of the sighting, the more likely to be an unknown. And yet, what did the Secretary of the Air Force say to the public? He said that on the basis of this report, we believe that no objects such as those popularly described as flying saucers have overflown the United States.
Believers wait for signs. Skeptics want the ultimate proof. At last it comes.
I was absolutely thrilled. To me, this was one of the great moments in my research.
The leaked papers British researcher Tim Good received in 1987 seem the answer. The above top-secret documents concerned US government contacts with aliens. Those in charge are named the Majestic 12. The papers are for President-elect Eisenhower. They reveal the recovery of aliens in New Mexico in 1947. A flying saucer crashes. A local rancher reports finding it 75 miles northwest of Roswell Army Airfield. The wreckage is unrecognizable, no wires or conventional parts. During the recovery, 4 dead aliens are found. News of the crash gets out. The remains are removed to several different locations for analysis. An effective cover story given out. Civilian witnesses are debriefed.
There was no question that the importance of these documents was monumental. I mean, nothing like it before had surfaced.
It's dynamite. Proves there are flying saucers, alien visitors, the whole business. The implication is, 1, Earth is being visited by extraterrestrial spacecraft. 2, the government has known not only that that is true in the abstract, but has had pieces of wreckage and bodies of extraterrestrials since at least 1947.
Within about 10 minutes of seeing the documents, based upon my research into UFO documents up to that time, I knew these things weren't real.
Critics believe it's a clever forgery with a damning detail lifted from a later genuine letter, the signature of President Truman.
Now, anyone familiar with forensic document analysis knows that a person signing their name never signs it twice in the exact same way. And that suggested to us that the signature from the later genuine non-UFO document was cut out by the forger and pasted onto this false executive order to lend an air of authenticity to it.
They say the signature on there is identical to another signature from a different memo, which I found in the first place. I say if you hold them up to a light table, they are clearly not identical.
Former supporters now believe it's a con. For them, the copy is too exact.
For me, the clincher is that lifted signature. However, let me say I am convinced that whoever fabricated that document, if it was fabricated, must have had inside knowledge. There's no way it could be otherwise. And there's no question that the Majestic 12 papers have indeed pointed people in the right direction. And I think essentially the information contained therein is accurate.
To get a good view of government UFO files, one group goes to court. The National Security Agency protests in an affidavit. The judge refuses to let them read the contents.
We filed for the 21-page above top secret affidavit. The judge had referenced it in his finding, and we eventually got it. The only trouble is, as you start to go through it, you find that it's blacked out, and pretty soon all blacked out. 75% of the document isn't there, and people say, scrape away the black, there's nothing underneath. They Xerox it first.
In the eyes of the state, there is no need to know why there is no need to know.
The cover-up alone is proven by the released documents, released by agencies such as the FBI, who denied any involvement in UFO research until the Freedom of Information Act showed that they'd been lying. They released 1,100 pages of documents. CIA denied any interest in the subject. Suddenly we have now, I would think, thousands of pages of UFO-related information dating back to the 1940s, which quite clearly indicates that there has been a cover-up.
100,000 cases are archived at the private Center for UFO Studies. Mainstream science ignores them.
I am convinced by over 20 years of work in this field that there is a mysterious phenomenon occurring that is being neglected by science, not by the public, but by science. And it's to science's detriment that it's doing so.
The data gather dust. Elsewhere, governments launch more active studies. The former Soviet Union, March 1990. Interceptors scramble to investigate pulsing lights northeast of Moscow. For 3.5 hours, they stalk the UFO, which moves at speeds up to 3,000 miles an hour. No radar image appears on the screens of ground stations. Thermal imaging produces results. The UFO is photographed. The secret results are proof for the Chief of Air Defense Forces.
This 1990 case is the only one supported by evidence. All other possible contact reports by both civil and military aircraft are merely eyewitness accounts. This is the only case for which there is concrete proof.
His pilots do not fire on UFOs.
As far as official instructions are concerned, we in air defense have certain unwritten rules that mean we only use radar and not armaments against UFOs.
Nor are personnel seeing Western stealth planes.
We never thought it was American stealth aircraft. The radar characteristics are not the same. Stealth behaves like a plane in terms of speed and maneuverability. UFOs are very different.
Their files list many cases. This pilot finds a light closing on him.